South Africa has only 7 legitimate kingships and another 6 whose status will come to an end on the death of the current incumbent.
In 2010, President Jacob Zuma announced the outcome of the Nhlapo Commission. Appointed by President Thabo Mbeki, the inquiry tested the legitimacy of traditional leadership claims, including those of kings and queens. It was supposed to remedy the apartheid government's divide and rule tactics, which at times created some kingdoms to serve the regime. The commission recognized Abatembu, AmaXhosa, AmaMpondo, AmaZulu, Bapedi, Vavenda, and AmaNdebele as legitimate kingdoms. Though some of its findings were challenged legally.
This has left some of these kingdoms virtually in shambles, not knowing who is the king. One raised the question of the thoroughness of some of these findings on a very complex matter that relies on customs, and the customs which are not uniform, which differ from one tradition to the other. That in itself has left some of these very much weak, fragile, unstable.
But some kingdoms weren't recognized at all, among them the Bakgatla-Bakgafela in the northwest.
The outcome of the commission that suggests there are no kings in northwest perhaps needs to be revised and be carried again, because you can't ignore the big communities out in northwest, the Bafokeng tribe, the Bakgatla-Bakgafela, the Pilanesberg Game Reserves, or the Pilanesberg Mountain, as it were, named after the royal leadership of Bakgatla. You can't ignore the Kgosi Mangopes of this world.
There have been wranglings over leadership, but the kingdom is widely regarded as putting land to good use and providing job opportunities that could serve as a model for others. To the public, such progress isn't always apparent. Opinion is divided over royal families.
I definitely believe that royalty is necessary to curb many of societal problems like crime, violence.
The government needs to start to sit with the with the royal families and think and really channel or indicate exactly what is their role in this new society. So, but for me personally, I think they are necessary.
In rural areas, if there is something that is happening like rapes and everything they say that is the government that is not taking a good care of our people in South Africa. So I don't know what is their role.
In a cultural role, yes. But where money is concerned, I think it's a waste of money. We could use that money somewhere else instead of spending it on one family or 3 families, where you've got a lot of people that doesn't have houses, that's still staying in shanties, and I just feel it's a waste of money as a taxpayer of South Africa.
Mnampendulo Calvin Sicao. Ndiyafunga ukubanda unyaniseka kwilizwe loMzantsi Afrika nakuluntu lwamaXhosa.
Our constitution makes kings and queens responsible for protecting their culture and customs. But are they merely figureheads or vital consultants to the government?
It's not a question of whether you nullify them or not, because they are a reality that exists. It's a matter of how they articulate with or complement democratic institutions. But their role is more than symbolic in terms of the Chapter 12 of the Constitution.
Then there's a matter of costs. All recognized local councils are paid from the public purse to the tune of 650 million rand a year. Traditional leaders each receive over 1 million annually. With the exception of the Zulu royal family, it was criticized in 2014 after receiving a budget of 52.2 million rand from the KwaZulu-Natal provincial government.
You do have a unique situation in KZN where the king seemed to preside over a homogeneous group, largely, of the Zulus. And they give him a fair amount of resources, which you do not find with any other king. because if you are in Limpopo, you would have a Venda king, you would have, the Pedi king, Shangan and so forth, or Tsonga. So to that extent, you find that they have less resources.
At this ANC anniversary celebration in Rustenburg, political allegiances were made all too clear.
And remember ANC, if this institution is weakened, ANC is going down. That I can assure you. For ANC to remain strong, for ANC, for the people on the ground to believe in it, it needs traditional leadership.
Some say this is where traditional leaders get it wrong.
When kings, traditional leaders, decide that they will become part of a party political activity, they have chosen a side against some of their people. Once kings and traditional leaders descend into that arena, they dilute their own office, because they are required to be the symbol of unity.
In the end, to be king or queen requires more than a crown. It's a balancing act, with the demands of the Constitution on the one hand and the needs of community on the other. Lorhren-Rose, Joseph, Johannesburg.